So in this session, we will be covering some more attacks which are listed in OS top 10 as a high risk vulnerabilities with respect to web applications. So DVWA I have started, and now we have to practice. So let's move towards SQL injection. So firstly, we will go to this SQL injection. When we click on SQL injection DVWA, we will get this screen, right? So in SQL injection page, you will get this page. It is asking for user ID, right? So let me enter any user ID, admin or anything. It is not accepting. So in PHP My Admin, we are having this. These are the databases, and inside this databases, we are having some tables, right? So let me start with the SQL injection. So while entering the user ID, so I want to show you this. What is this user ID? So I have gone to this user table of DBWA. Here you can see that this user ID. This user ID is 1234. So I was not knowing what is this user ID. So that is why I am going to see the database, right? So when I will put here one, so you can see here it is showing the admin first name admin and second name is admin, right? So after that, when when I go back to this DVWA, I can see the guest book table, sorry, user table. Here it is given that user ID. So this is the user ID which I am entering to the text box, and this is the first name and last name which is being displayed here, right? So whenever I am entering your user ID, it is showing that first name and last name which is associated with this ID in the database, right? I think it is clear to all of you. So let's move further. So to perform SQL injection, first of all, we have to check whether this site is vulnerable to SQL injection or not. So in the hacking world or in the SQL injection world, you can say the single quote is most dangerous character, right? So first of all, I will put here single quote, right, and enter here, right? So once it will show an error, if you are entering a single quote and it is showing an error, it means there is a 90% chance that this site is vulnerable. So while surfing any website, if as a user, if the site is asking from you to enter some data in the text box, and if you put there single quote, and if it is giving error, it means this site is vulnerable to SQL injection. So this single quote is very much dangerous. So I put here a single quote and submit here. It is giving error. It means this site is vulnerable, or this text field is vulnerable for single quote, right? So next, what is the next step, right? Once we got to know that this single quote is giving error in this site, right? So what I will do, I will try to play with some SQL injection. So to play with some SQL injection code, firstly I have to balance this backend query. So why the single quote is giving error? You all must be aware, because in the first class I have shown you, whenever you put single quote in the SQL query, it will make the query complete, right? So if as soon as I put here the single quote, it is making the query it is terminating the query, and hence it is not able to retrieve any data, right? It is not able to retrieve any data, and so it is giving error. So what I will do to avoid this error, I will try to balance the query, right? Because by putting single quote, I have terminated the query, right? But only terminating this query is not it is not sufficient. You have to balance the query. Otherwise, query will give error. Your database query will give error. So without passing any parameters, I'm terminating the query. So it is giving the error. So what I have to do next I will try to balance this query by putting some comment line. So in SQL query, to make it comment, we will use double dash space single dash, right? So you can note it down to balance or to comment any query, right? To balance or comment any query or part of query, we use double dash space single dash. So when we put this and submit, now it is not giving any error. It means now we are this site is in our command and we can now play with SQL injection. So firstly we had put here single quote and submitted. It was giving error because we have possibly terminated this query. Now to complete the query or to comment the rest of the portion, I will put here double dash single dash, right? So what it will do, it will give it will not be giving any error. It means now we can attack with just more SQL injection payload, right? So now the first injection payload what we would like to perform, that is order by. So I will write here order by. So what this order by meant for? You must be all have idea about SQL query. In SQL query, order by is used to order the content, whatever the content this SQL query is fetching from database, to order the content by one of the column. So we will use this order by. Suppose we are fetching the first name and last name, and we want to order by this data by first name or by user ID. I have shown you in the database there is three field user ID, first name and last name, right? So if I want to make this data, this what this text box is fetching, this text box is fetching first name and last name, right? So I want to order by first name. So for first name, that is column number 1, so I write here order by 1. When I will write here order by 1 and submit, it is not giving any error, right? So what hacker will do, it will try to increase this order by count, order by 1, order by 2, order by 3, order by 4, and it will keep increasing to get an idea that how much column we are fetching, right? Because I am not knowing whether this query, whatever the query is running in backend, I am not knowing that how much column and how many columns of the database it is fetching. It may be fetching complete database, might be developer has written select star from log user table. Select star means all the column it is fetching, but it is displaying only 2 column here. So to get the complete idea how much column, how much attribute it is fetching from database, I will try to write this order by or increase the order by count, right? So I will write here order by 2. So in order by 2, it is also not giving error. It means there are 2 column and we can make the query ordered by any of this column. When I will write order by 3, and click submit, it is giving error. It means now it is clear to the hacker, or it is clear to us, this query was fetching only two column number 1 and column number 2. There is no third column, so we cannot order the output by this third column, right? So by putting this order by 3, we are much confident that only 2 columns are being fetched by this query. Now then what we can do, now we are well aware that this query, whatever the query is running in backend, this SQL query is fetching only 2 columns of the database, of the table, right? So now I will write here union select 1, 2 and then balance the query. What does it mean? Now I am going to union both the column data, right? Both the column data I am going to union by column number 1 and column number 2. I am going to perform union, right? I am performing union of this. So when I will do this and submit it, it is giving the data column number 1 and column number 2. So similarly, if order by 3 was successful, it means we can have 3 vulnerable columns. If order by 2 was only successful, order by 3 not successful, it means we are having only two columns which are vulnerable, and we can attack through any of these columns, right? So now to perform any attack, we will use this union select. Now we are taking both the column in our query, and we can perform any payload, or we can attack this SQL injection. We can perform this SQL injection using any payload on any of these column number, right? So what I will do, I will firstly write single quote union select, right? What this union select is telling that we can union both the column, we can union both the column data, whatever the data it is going to fetch. And why 1 comma 2 only? Because in by order by clause we have well known that only there are two columns which are vulnerable, right? So now I am going to perform the first payload here, right? So what to perform any payload, I will select any of this column number 1 or column number 2. Using any of this column number, I can perform payload. So I am going to perform first payload. So these are some payload I have written it. I will share it with you. First payload is concat database version, right? Concat database version. These are the payloads. There are several payloads. I have listed some of the important payload here, and I will be sharing with you. So how to perform this payload? Now we will not alter this union select command. We will only alter this column count. In the place of 1, I will write this payload, right? So I will show you this complete injection in Notepad so that it is clear to you. So now the query, the attack query which I am going to perform is single quote union select. In the place of 1, I have entered this, you can say payload. I have entered this payload in the place of 1. This was the earlier query, right? Now either we can place at 1 or we can place at 2, right? Anyone at any place we can perform this attack, or we can perform this payload. I think my voice is coming to all of you, right? Because I am using my this mobile data. Our net was down, so I am using my mobile data, right? So so what I am going to do, I will enter my payload in the place of 1, right? And let me perform this submit this query. So when I will submit this query, what you are getting, it is showing the root username and the current database. It is showing the root username and current database. So you can see here, it is showing me the username of root, that is root at the rate localhost, and the database name which is being used by this query, right? So this was the first payload which I have performed. The second payload, this payload is named as all database. So what it will show, it will show all the schemas, right? All the database schemas it will show. So schema means you all of you must be aware, schema means the structure. So when I will write this payload, it will be showing the complete it will showing the schema, or you can say structure of database, all the databases. So when I will click submit, now you can see here, by entering the only SQL injection, I am able to see all the databases which are present in the server. Now let me show you the server. In the server, you can able to see these are the different databases. Suppose at your web server you are running 5 or 6 different applications, and all these applications are using different databases. So hacker is, by using this SQL injection, hacker is now able to see all the database names here, right? I think it is clear to all of you. So now the next payload which I am going to perform. So now you have seen that by using this SQL payload attack, I am able to see the database name. So next payload I am going to demonstrate you that is called count database. Count database payload. And what this payload will do, this payload will count the number of databases which are present in the web server, or you can say that your database server. So it is showing that total 11 databases. You can count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 databases are there. So it is giving me the idea that there are 11 databases are there. So next payload which I can inject is one shot. So let me show you what this one shot will do. So I will put this payload in the place of 1. So now it is giving the serial, or you can say order of the databases, which are the databases present in the server. So like earlier query, payload, it is also giving the name of all databases, and it is also giving the order that first the database is 1, second is 2. In that way it is giving the database schema's name, right? Next payload which I will perform here, this is called a schema table name. So till now we have get the idea that how many databases are there, what are the databases, the name of databases which are available in the web server. Now in the next payload I am going to fetch the table names, or the table names which are being used by this current application. So currently I am using this DBWA SQL injection, and this page is using guestbook database, guestbook table name we are fetching. You can see here table name. In my payload it is clearly mentioned table name. So earlier it has shown me the name of database, which is DBWA. Now it is showing the table name, that is guestbook. So we are using this guestbook table of the current database. So now you can imagine that how much danger it is. So sitting at the remote, and the hacker is able to know complete your database structure, your table name. Now I am going to fetch the all table name which are available. 1 minute, sir. Let me complete this SQL injection. Then we will take the feedback. So just two more payload remaining. So now I am going to perform this complete table name of complete database server. So when I will submit this, it is showing me all the tables of all the databases. So we are having 11 databases, and in all these 11 databases we can see here in ABC there are only 2 tables, participant and test. So it is showing that first table is participant and second is test. In this DB Atal one, it is showing anonymous, and these are the table. So it is showing all the table names. So sitting at remotely, I am able to see the table names, right? In the DBWA, we are having guestbook and user. So it is also showing this guestbook and user. So this payload will give you complete snapshot of tables. What are the tables available at the database server, right? Then the next is column name. So table name we have received. Next is column name. So now I am going to give this column name payload here. Now it is showing the column name or attribute name of the current table, current relation of the current database. So currently we are using DBWA database, and the table which we are using is guestbook. So I can show you in guestbook what are the currently we are using the user table. So in user table you can see here what are the column name. The column name in the user table is user ID, first name, last name, user, password, and etc. So it is showing all the column name here. So by using this payload, I am able to see what are the column name or attribute name available in the database table, right? The next payload, it will show you the data available in the column. It will show you the data available in the column. So now you can see for the current table, it is showing that username and password. You can see here for the current table is your user table, and in user table, these are the user IDs. You can see here user ID and password. User ID and password. I will show you the payload what I have written. I have concatenating the first name, last name, and password. I am fetching three fields. After we are knowing that what are the columns available in the current table, now I am going to fetch the useful useful column data. Earlier it has shown me, the earlier payload has shown me that these are the columns or attribute in the table. Now I got to know that there is a password column also there. So now I am fetching the data available in this password, first name and last name column. So after entering this payload, when I will submit, it is showing me first name is admin, last name is admin, and password is this. Now I am able to fetch the password also. So we can see here this is a MD5 hash. So because it is encoded into MD5 hash, so we can decode this password, right? Let me try this website. Because you all know that hash are not reversible, but what these sites are doing, they have stored some well known password in their databases, right? And they are matching the pattern, right? And giving you the decoded password. Yes, found ABC 123. So it has decoded the MD5 hash, right, as ABC1234. In this way, if someone has kept his password very easy password, that is why it is always recommended to the user to keep the strong password. So if you have used the password like ABCD1234, then it is very easy to decode, because these are the sites which have created a strong database of this encoded and decoded version of passwords. So next, the last payload which I would like to show, it will showing the names, first name and last name, right? It is showing that first name, last name, and this user ID, whatever the user ID. Earlier we have fetched first name, last name, and password. Now I am fetching first name, last name, and user ID. So you can see here, this is the hack. First name, last name is me, and user is 1337. So it is showing that hack me, and I have separated the this output by column, right? So this is the advanced version of SQL, right? So by using this type of payload, you can get any data from the website. You can get the password, user ID, anything you can get from the your website. And you all are aware that it is a application layer attack. So your firewall is not going to protect this, right? Because these all attacks are being performed on port 80 HTTP. So we have learned how to perform the SQL injections with different payload. So the next attack which I will be covering is XSS attack. So I have already explained what is XSS, cross-site scripting. It is cross-site scripting, and hackers take advantage of this JavaScript, because JavaScript is enabled in most of the websites and web pages, and users or clients are bound to use this JavaScript. Otherwise, many functions of the website will not work. So we are bound to use this JavaScript. So once the JavaScript is running, attackers may play with this JavaScript, and they can perform different types of attacks using this JavaScript. So if we consider XSS attack, cross-site scripting attack, the three types of XSS it is listed here. First is DOM-based, reflected, and stored. So DOM-based is nothing, right? DOM-based is nothing dangerous, because suppose there is a drop down here and it is showing that English, you have to select the language. When you will select the language and click the select button, the website will be translated in that language. So if we have not filtered this drop down data, if we have not generated this drop down data by programming, right, then this DOM based attack may be performed, right? Suppose I want to change it by change the value of this drop down. So if these drop down values are coming from directly database, so we will not be able to alter this. But in DOM based attack, if you have given it on the web page only, so you can see here when I am selecting English and clicking on select button, in the address bar it is showing English. When we are selecting French, it is showing French, right? So what I will do, I will try to add my name here and submit. What will happen? The drop down will have another option called Amrendra. So if this data will be pulling to if this data will be submitting to database, then what will happen? We will able to create a new entry for this language, right? Long language. Suppose there is a language database and where we are capturing this value and we are storing this value. So hacker will be able to input anything. Hacker. So hacker will be able to put a new entry called hacker in the dropdown. So this is a very simple DOM based attack, is not so much dangerous. If we talk about reflected accesses, so I already told you that in the reflected accesses you will put a URL, right? You will put a you can say JavaScript, right? And it will display on the client side, right? So it is not going to be stored in the database like in the stored accesses. We have performed the stored accesses in the first day demonstration, and I have shown you that the JavaScript, whatever the JavaScript is being entered, are stored in the database. So in the reflected accesses, we are not going to store anything. We are not going to store anything in the database, but we will try to give some pop-up instructions or any annoying things to the users, right? So what we will do, I will write here ABC and put it. When I will write ABC and submit it, it is showing that hello ABC. It is showing that hello Amrendra. That means whatever the data I am writing in the text box, it is being displayed on the same page. So hacker may thought that might be it is showing the data without any sanitization, without any filtering of input, right? So in the safeguard technique, I will tell you that before putting any data to the query or to any display pages, we have to sanitize. We have to filter the dangerous character from the input, right? So what I will do, I will try to give here a small you can say JavaScript here. So let me write this JavaScript. Right? Alert, hey buddy. So when I will write this here, and sorry. So it is giving a pop-up, right? I have written a JavaScript, simple JavaScript here, and when I have entered it, it is showing a pop-up message. Similarly, if I will put some other JavaScript, like I want to display a message to hacker that I am a hacker, right? So what I will do, I will write here in JavaScript, when the client will submit, it will get a message that I am hacker. It is not harming the website at all in the backend, right? But what we are doing, you can see in the address bar. In the address bar, we are putting JavaScript here, right? We are putting here JavaScript. When I have written here Amrendra, so it is printing Amrendra here. When I will put here JavaScript, it is giving that. So what attacker will do? Attacker will send this URL. So in the first lecture, I have shown you the example that if you are browsing a bank website, so you are not definitely you are not going to care about the whatever the strings which are appended in the domain, right? So you will only look for this www.bank.sbi.ac.in, right? After the domain is over, www dot yes www.onlinesbi.com, I will write or append some JavaScript here, and I will send you the link, right? When you will click that on that link, you may be redirected to some phishing website, right? Phishing website matlab means a website which is having same look and feel, right? So like this, if I write here, I have written here JavaScript Windows.open. Windows.open is again for redirecting you to the different website. So whenever I will write this JavaScript in the last of this bank URL, what it will do, and I will send you via link or social engineering. You must be heard about social engineering. Social engineering is that you are going to deceive some people by giving him some sorry, you will the hacker will give you some link that you please click on this link, you will get some money or award. So these are called social engineering. In social engineering, hacker will try to attract you, right? By any means, if he is able to make you able to click on this link, what it will do when you will click on this link. When you will click on this link, you will be redirected to the new website. So I was on this localhost, and then as soon as I will click on this link, the link will redirect me to the different site, right? To the different site, it will redirect me, right? So in this way, this reflected XSS can be harmful, right? So next is our reflected XSS. Also, we can use here some image tag also, right? So suppose I have written here image tag, what it will be showing? It will be showing the photo of Ramakrishna sir, right? You can find the Ramakrishna sir photo on my website, Nitter website. In the Nitter website, what I have done, I am going to show you the link what I have entered in this reflected XSS. So in the faculty table, we have so I have taken that UI from there. Thank you, sir. So what you are, I have the image script image. I think it is HTML tag. You all must be aware. It is image, and in source. In the source, I have given the path of that image of my. It is my website. You can see here http://nittercat.ac.in and profile, faculty profile, images, and faculty.png, right? So what I am doing, I am just putting this image tag. I am putting this image tag in this reflected XSS window, and I am putting this. I am submitting this, right? So it is showing the photo of faculty. In reflected XSS, we can play like this. We can redirect to some different URL, right? Or we can show you. We can see, or we can display the images also from different locations, right? Next is your stored XSS. Stored XSS I have already demonstrated you. Here you have to write your name, and in message box I can write hello admin. When I will submit it, it is showing my comments or feedback, whatever the feedback I have written, it is showing that hello admin, right? Try to give any JavaScript here, right? When I will try to give any JavaScript here, then see what is happening. Now, after entering JavaScript, each time I will open this page, because I have entered JavaScript in this message box, and it will be stored in the guest book. You can see here in the guest book this JavaScript has been stored, because it is a reflected XSS. So it is stored in the database, and each time when we go to this page, which is showing the feedback entered by the participant, it will show me that pop-up. So I have shown you that the single solution for this time is to delete this from the database. But very soon I will be, so today's session will maybe stretch half an hour more till 4, I think it will stretch to 4:30. So please be with me, right? Next attack, I will demonstrate you, that is your CSRF attack. I have listed it, CSRF attack. What this CSRF attack will do, when I will click on CSRF attack, it is showing me a page to change my password, right? So two type of change password may be given on any website, right? One is the the first step is that if you are inside the login area, if you are inside this login area, they will only ask you for new password and confirm password, because you have already entered to the security area. If I got logged out from here, so I am logging in again here. So now I am inside the login area. Now if I want to change my password, it should not ask. Many times it should not ask my current password, and it will ask me the new password and confirm password. So here you can see that it is only asking for new password and confirm password, right? And hackers will take advantage of this demerits, because it is not asking for current password. Hacker will try to force the request, the password reset for request. Hacker will try to force this request, and they will change your password according to them, right? How it will be done? So for that, I have to create a similar page for that, this changing password page, and I will host it on the different server, right? So what I will do to create a same look and feel page, I will save this page, Control S, and I will save this page in my, you can say, directory, PHP directory, XAMPP. My CSRF page, and I'm going to save it as PHP file. So I will save it, right? So in my root directory, the file has been saved, right? So I again request, if you are not getting my bias or screen, please raise your hand. I will, because the chat box was disabled. I don't know why. So now I have saved the page in my local root directory. So I will try to access that page, localhost my CSRF page, my CSRF.php. So the page is stored here. Let me save it as a simple HTML file. Simple HTML file. Let me save it. And rename this file as my yes. Is simple HTML file, my CSRF.html. So localhost my CSRF.html. It is not MU. I have typed here MU. Spelling mistake is there. MU. So I have created a similar page like this. I have just copied this page, and it is very simple to create a similar page, right? So this is the victim page, and suppose I am here as a attacker page, right? So because both victim and attacker, is on same server. You can see here localhost, right? Alternatively, I can host this attacking page on my if I am a hacker and I am sitting remotely. So I will host this page, right? I will host this page on different web server, right? Like this, I have hosted this page on some different server. Let me check if it is working. Okay, so now it is open. So now you can see the victim is sitting at localhost and attacker. I have created a different web server. You can see the address of web server. It is a public IP server, right? So I have created a same look and feel page on the different server. So this is the attacker page, and this is the your victim page. So what will happen as soon as victim will logged in? As soon as victim will logged in to their secured area, that is after login, I am inside the secured area. Suppose you have logged into your online sbi.com.co.in. You have logged in using your password and username and password. After entering inside your profile, inside your banking profile, it is giving you an option to change your password, right? So you may get this type of a screen, change your password. So as soon as you will open that change password page, attacker will try to redirect you using social engineering. He will redirect you from this banking website, this banking page to their own page, because this page is having same look and feel. So you will not going to check your address where I am currently. So you have logged into your sbi.co.in. You just gone to your page, change password page, and in any ways the attacker using social engineering or any ways, the attacker will able to redirect you from sbi.co.in to their web server, that is amrendra.com, and in amrendra.com you will get same look and feel page, change password. So now what will happen? You are not known that you are on attacker's website, and as soon as you will write here password. So I am writing here my password is I want to change my password. What is the current password? The current password of mine is password, password. Now I am going to change it as ABCD. I am going to set ABCD 1 2 3 4. I am going to set my current password. New password is ABCD 1 2 3 4. I have copied, confirmed, right? And when I will click on change, what will happen? A message is giving password has been changed. So I was very happy. Now I am happy that my password has been changed, and I will try to log in using this password. I will try to log in using same this password, new password, that is ABCD 1 2 3 4. Now see what will happen. It is not allowing me to enter. What will happen? What happened? Because whatever the password I have entered to reset is not at all reach the web server. Whatever the password attacker has written in its hacking page will be set to your password, right? So you have entered your password ABCD 1 2 3 4, but the page which was created by the same page, phishing page, which was created by the attacker, inside that page he had written password is equal to 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Let me show you what that server where I have hosted the page. Let me show you the server where I have hosted that page. So this is my server. Here I have created this page, right? So let me open this page so that I can show you. So this is the page which of the attacker which the attacker has launched. Here you can see, if you are having any a little bit idea about this HTML, right? HTML forms. If you have any idea, then I will show you. See this section. This section you please see here. What is happening? The new password field is there. The confirm password field is there. But what I have written, I have renamed this field password 1 and password 2, and I have added some additional input field, which is a hidden field, and I have given the name of the field same as this DBWA is having. I can show you when you will go to the source page. When you will go to the source page, it is prompting us to log in. So let me firstly logged in. So password has been changed, and new password is now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So you can only understand if you have listened to me carefully. Otherwise, it is not going to uh, uh, make you understand, because it is little bit tricky, right? So I can show you CSRF page. So here I can show you there are two fields: new password new and password confirmed. There are two fields from on this page. So the page I have the attacker page which attacker has created, he has kept the same name of the field into the hidden input field, and the input field which are being displayed to the user, it has renamed it as a password 1 and password 2. Now I am going to show you the value. The input field which is having same name as the DBWA page is having, it has set the value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So whatever the password user is entering, that is not at all reaching the server, right? And in between this value 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, this value will reach to the database server, and your password will be reset to the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is called cross-site request forgery, right? In cross-site, because attacker is sitting remotely and he is altering your request. He is altering your request and forged your request and change your password, right? So I was explaining you the CSRF, and in this way the CSRF attack will happen. When you are inside this login page, attacker will redirect you to some phishing page, and when you will try to write here your new password, it will not be captured by this page, and the password which was entered by hacker, it will be resetted, right, to your account. So the next attack I want to demonstrate it to you is XXE attack. In XXE attack, I am using this site, this Portsfigure website, right? In Portsfigure website, they have created some lab. So you have to create your account on this Portsfigure website. This is the website which has made the Brock Suite software, right? So in their lab, to access their lab, online lab, you have to create your account. Once you are logged into your account, you can go to the academy. In the academy, you will find the different type of attack they have created lab. So here they have created XXE attack, and you can perform the XXE attack from here. So XXE attack I have explained you in the first lecture. It is related to XML, right? If any website is using XML as XML tags to communicate with server, then in this type of attack we can exploit this XML tag and we can perform this XXE attack. So you can see here, this is a shopping site. This is a lab site, basically lab site. They have created a shopping site, and if you want to order anything, you can check the stock, available stock. So it is showing that 204 units are available. So what I have done, I have just intercepted the request of this website to the BubSuite, right? To the BubSuite I have intercepted here. So when I have clicked on check host, the check stock button, when I will click on check stock button, this site will be checking the number of stock available with respect to this product, right? And it is sending a request to the server. It is sending a request to the server that please check for the stock for product ID 1, right? For product ID 1, please check the stock, right? So I think I am audible now. Bhagirath Bhatt Sahab.
Yes, sir.
I am audible, sir. I am audible, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Earlier it was not audible. It was not audible.
Earlier, not audible. Right now, are you audible?
Okay, thank you, sir. So, now I am checking this XML tag is checking for stock for product ID 1, right? So I will try to alter this request. I will send it to the repeater, right? When I will click on send a repeater, it will be captured into repeater. In the repeater, what I will do, I will try to manipulate this request. The request which was made by the client page to the server, I will try to manipulate it, and I will alter this XML tag, and now I am sending this request with product ID, random product ID. This is and XXC. Earlier it was 1, now I am sending it and XXC, and what I am asking, in the response of this input, I am asking from server the file access of this passwd. Passwd is a default file which will be created in the Linux platform in the etc folder, and this file will be containing the detail of you can say backup, right? The system backups, or initial whatever the program or what are the services running there, it will be capturing their status, right? So let me send this request to the server, and I will click on go. Now you can see here, in the response of product ID, the server is supposed to return us the number of you can say number of stock, but now what it is returning, it is returning me root bin bash. Root bin bash is basically a status file which is giving idea what are the services or currently running on the server, right? And what are their file paths, right? So this is again a very dangerous attack, XXC attack. It is very dangerous attack, and you can this hacker can take the advantage of this attack. So now we have came to the end of type of attack.